Our meditation series is going on. Today we will discuss on verse number 33. It's a wonderful verse for meditation. Vedantic meditation means detachment and attachment. So what we have to detach, how we will be detached, the process, how to negate ourselves, these things are going on. Amanastvanna me dukkha, amanastvanna me dukkha, ragadvesha bhayadayah, ragadvesha bhayabaha, bhayadayah, aprano yamanas shubhraha, aprano yamanas shubhraha. Please put visarga after shubhra. This is not wrongly written in your book, but when you will chant and split it, you have to put visarga. Ityadi shruti shasanat, ityadi shruti shasanat, amanastvanna me dukkha raga dvesha bhayadayah, aprano yamana shubhraha, ityadi shruti shasanat. Amanastvat, because of not being the mind. What was there in the 32 verse, can you remember? That dehanyatvat, and here you will find amanastvat, means in last verse Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is negating the physical body. Now here he is negating the subtle body. Amanastvat, because of not being the mind, na, not, me, for me, dukkha, raga, dvesha, bhayadayah. So dukkha, raga, dvesha, bhaya, adi. So that plural is getting adayah. Sorrow, attachment, malice, dvesh, vidvesh, fear and so on. Apranaha, without prana, without the vital force, vital air. He, verily, amanaha, without mind. Shubhraha, pure. And ityadi shruti shasanat, and so on, for the scriptures declare. What scriptures declare? I am other than the mind, and hence I am free from sorrow, attachment, malice, and fear. For the self is without prana and without mind, pure, and so on, is the commandment of the great scripture, the Upanishads. So what is the prose order? The prose order is amanastvat me dukkha raga dvesha bhayadayaha na santi. He, and you just put yataha aham, as I am, apranaha amanaha tasmat aham shubhraha iti shruti shasanat. So the thing is, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is not proclaiming that it is his knowledge. He is giving the reference of the Shruti, the scriptures, that dukkha, raga, sorrow, attachment, dvesh, very malice, fear factor, means the effect and the cause of that, nothing is me or nothing is mine. Amanaha. What is there? Kama sankalpa vichikitsa. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 1.5.3, it is telling Kamaha sankalpa vichikitsa Shraddha ashraddha dhritihi adhritihi hrir dhihi virityetat sarvam manaha eva. So there is the absence of the relationship with the kama. Kama means sensual objects, mainly the opposite sex or any other things. Vichikitsa. Vichikitsa is samshaya, doubt. Always in our mind, doubtfulness is there. Shraddha. Here it is Shraddha means astikya buddhi, the positive intellect or faith about which is not found, adrishta vishaya. Ashraddha means the against of that. Dhriti means dharana shakti, the capacity to contain something else. Adhriti means the absence of dhriti. Hari. Hari means lajja, shyness. Dhi means prajna, knowledge. Bhi means bhay, fear. All those things apparently we see, they are the modifications of mind. Beside that, nothing else. So mind is the material cause of that. In previous slok, there was the word dehanyatvat, as I am different from the physical body. So here it is showing what is my apparent proclamation about myself, that I am having hunger, I am having thirst, I am having prana. So Upanishad is absolutely negating it. In Mundaka Upanishad 2.1.2, It's a very, very important mantra. 2.1.2. 2.1.2 Mundakopanishad. Dibyo hi amurtaha purushaha savahyabhyantaro hyajaha aprano hi manasubhra hyaksharat parataha paraha. If I split it, Dibyaha hi amurtaha purushaha. That purusha, that atma is divya, self-effulgent, divine. Amurtaha. It has no form. There is no murtabha. Sa bahyaha abhyantaraha hi ajaha. It is there outside and inside. Ajaha means there is no birth. And Shruti is telling it is devoid of apranaha. Prana is the mental modification. Hi amanaha. It has no mind. Shubhraha. As it has no mind, there is no dirt also. Because all the impurities are there in the mind. So if the mind is not there, then the crystal clear, ever pure, Atma is only there, which is Shubhraha. He aksharat parataha paraha. Aksharat. Naksharati iti aksharaha. Which is imperishable. That Atma we are, or I am. There is no we. There is I only. So we have to say, I have no sorrow, no likes, dislikes, nothing else, no fear. So who is having that likes, dislikes, doubtfulness, depression, anxiety? Ahankara owns up all this. Ahankara claims it. Ahankara doesn't mean ego. False translation it is. Poor translation. तो उनका बहुत अहंकार हो गया. Falsely ahankara means ego. So what is the meaning of ahankara? Ahankara means three sharira. Sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, plus chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness, and the Atma. Just remember the Dakshinamurti Ashtakam first sloka. Vishvam darpana drishyamana nagare tulyam nijantargatam pashyan atmani mayaya bahiribodbhutam yatha nidraya. So what does it mean? The whole world is, we are seeing as if, you know, when we drive, we see the cars. How? Through the mirror. Here the mirror is inside, the city is inside, the reflection is inside. Everything is inside. When we are speaking, we are talking, we are playing, we are walking, our attention remains in the physical body. When we think something else, our attention is on the sukshma sharira or subtle body. When we are ignorant, Our attention is in the causal body. Example, deep sleep state. But when we think, I am Brahma, then all my attention remains in the Atma. To gain the knowledge, for any transaction in the transactional world, these 5 things are required. Ahankara is required. When Jnani, a realized soul, transact with the external world or transactional world, Jnani has also these 5 factors, 3 bodies, Chidabhasa and Atma. But for Jnani, all 4, 3 shariras, 3 bodies and the reflected consciousness, everything is negative. That is why Jnani is always untroubled. Like the roasted seed, which will not be sprouted again. In Vachyartha I, in the direct meaning of I, there are all the things are there. My attachment, my likes, my dislikes. But in Lakshyartha I, in implied I am not the mind, I have no mind. This is the understanding, conscious understanding. I am not the mind, I have no mind. But who have never studied Vedanta, please don't tell him or her these things. That we have started meditation series. They will claim you that you are a crazy fellow. Some mental problem is there. So they will suggest you to visit a psychiatrist. This is not the matter to preach. This is what we are discussing is the matter of understanding. This is the subject of my spiritual practice. If we are not clear about it, then there will be a lot of error in communication and understanding. Never discuss or never argue with anyone else about self-knowledge or with half knowledge. If you are having half knowledge, it is very dangerous. For them, ignorance is bliss. Because who argue, they are so strong, who are atheists. You have no idea how much strong arguments they are having. So if you go to argue with them with half knowledge, the result will be you will be converted. So no need to convert others. Just realize yourself that you are Atma. Just ask yourself. One Kathakar used to tell story of Bhagavatam to a king. So that Kathakar, after every word used to tell, because that poor Kathakar, poor Brahmin, the storyteller, used to go for earning money to the king. So every time he used to ask the king, have you understand? Have you understand? And the king used to tell, you try to understand. You try to understand. And when that poor Kathakar understood what he teaches, then all the words shut down. So, before making others understanding, you understand. You come to the conclusion. You abide in that knowledge. You live that life. Live that life in this pure knowledge. Then no need to preach. Your silence will teach others. I don't know anyone else is there or not who may ask, then why are you teaching? Don't misunderstand me. You know, when we will start thinking, then that come that why that young guy waste our time from 9 to 9:30. He is also shouting every day, you are not the body, you are not the mind, I am not the body. So once Keshav Chandra Sen went to Sri Ramakrishna and he told how much you are nicely teaching. Should I print it in my newspaper? Because Keshav Sen was the owner of the highest newspaper. Sri Ramakrishna was very angry. And he told, do you think in my own wish I teach? It's mother's will. If she wants, then you no need to advertise me. If mother wants, in whose will the whole world is moving, everything will happen. So wherever any teacher is teaching, means there is some adesha. Otherwise, nobody will listen. You know, sometimes when I was really very matured, I used to hear some lectures of some acharyas and which used to conflict with the Vedas. I used to think, who listens to them? And still today also we hear, if you open up YouTube, they may be very popular. You know, I have seen 28,000 people have watched their video. And how rubbish, they have no clear idea also. So then suddenly one story came up in my mind. One day, in India, you will find in the roadside in Kolkata, Howrah, Mumbai, that crazy fellow is asking food. They're very dirty, no bath, nothing else. And people give them waste food or something like that. So one day, one crazy fellow, vagabond, had the consciousness that how horrible my life is. People always throw me out from the gathering. They gave me you know, all the rotten food and everything else. I will not keep my life. So he wanted to commit suicide. But he told, no, I want to show it off. So he started riding Howrah Bridge and he went to the top and started shouting that I am going to leave my body. So, you know, fire brigade, police, media, everyone started coming. They tried to convince him that we will give you fresh fruit and everything else. Is not ready to come down. They were, alas, another crazy fellow. We thought, oh my God, so much trouble he is giving. So suddenly he went and came back and started shouting and told the police fellow, you don't know how to make him come down. Please stop. Let me talk to him. So he shouted, see, in my hand there is a blade. If you don't come down right now, I will start cutting the Howrah Bridge from the bottom and you will fall down with the bridge. And the crazy fellow becomes so fearful and he came down. So what is the essence? So don't be afraid, don't be upset that, Are, what he is talking. You know, you follow also YouTube and other things. Sometimes they may are very popular. So popular videos come. So you don't be afraid that what is he saying? It's totally illogical. So always remember that story, that some people are there who understands only their language. So don't be upset. So what about, the thing is, this is the first round elimination of I am not the mind. Because Ahankara claims the ownership. When we will start saying, my desk, my computer, means there is an association with the computer, with the body, everything else. But when we will trail that I am Atma, apparently it means that this body belongs to Atma. You know, some diabetic patients we meet all the time and they eat sweet randomly, you know, sugar. So when I ask, why are you taking Amma? Now I don't want to upset my Atma, you know. मेरा आत्मा को मैं दुखाना नहीं चाहता. अरे शरीर तो जाएगा स्वामी जी, लेकिन आत्मा को मैं दुख नहीं देना चाहता. I think you have also heard, or some of you are convinced in that concept that Atma is inside the body and body belongs to Atma. For them, this sloka, this verse, Atma is Nishanga. There is no association, no relationship with anyone, anything else. As Ahankara, I claim this body. As Atma, all bodies are same to me. As Atma, all minds are same to me. When I am sorrowful, this shloka, this verse is very essential. Because when the sorrow factor comes, means knowingly or unknowingly I am accepting I am the mind. When you will start negating your mind with the proper logic, with the help of the scripture, this is called mananam, meditation. When reasoning is clear, knowledge is clear, that mind has no problem. And that is called dhyanam, contentment. Sometimes we ask, what is the problem with the attachment? When we are happy, when apparent problem is not there, then attachment has no problem. The problem starts when we are in crisis period. Disliking, we can understand when that disliked object or person comes in front of me. The whole problem is my own problem actually. The whole problem is in my mind. Sadhana Chatushtaya, there is the abhava of Sadhana Chatushtaya, the fourfold spiritual practice, Sadhana Chatushtaya, ki abhav. Shama, Dhamma, Viveka, Vairagya. We don't practice. Why I am so miserable? I have too much attachment with my body, with my mind. That is why we have attachment with the related objects. When they start giving problem, means mananam is not clear. We have to accept the Shruti Shasanat. Very important mantra. Vedanta is wonderful. You know, I am breathing. Someone else. And I am claiming that I have no prana, I am not prana. I think, yet I am telling I have no mind. Wonderful Vedanta. So, the thing is, the mind is that substantial hallucination of terrific force and irresistible might that we feel in ourselves when our thoughts flow. It is ever changing in its contents and in its moods. Without a thought flow or without a mind, man does not exist as man even for a moment. All the same, I am not the mind, although I have mind. My real nature is the pure Atma, the self, the changeless and the eternal. The idiosyncrasies of the mind are its own creation. The mind flourishes on thoughts, and thoughts gargle from my own desires acquired from my perception and experience of objects extraneous to myself. Thus, when I am really something other than the mind, and when I realize that it is the illumination of the self that gives the power of awareness to this inner matter, to this mind, I cannot but remain totally unaffected by the eruptions in that aspect of my physical structure. When I no longer mourn for the dream child that died in my dream, I cease to identify myself with the mental emotions. And so, how can I any longer be a victim of the onslaught of sorrow, fear, and so on, which are but the modification of my mind? I am without a mind. I am pure intelligence itself. I am that higher and imperishable truth which is beyond all explanation and beyond the concept of the time, but within the experience of everyone when there is self-realization. Even Acharya Shankara must not dogmatically assert without reference to the scriptures. Hence, he quotes his authority, the Upanishad. Hari Om Tat Sat.